This is Jay coming to you live from my residence here. This is Today I'm going to talk to you about another topic which is very, very important. At least I think it is. So, what do you think it is? Well, it's kind of like a weird topic if you ask me, because, and don't ask me why I decided to speak on it. Well, you'll get to know once I reveal it to you, of course, but um, so I want your undivided attention, right? Because um, in order to understand this, because some of you might think that it's a weird topic that I chose to discuss, but hey, let's see how it goes. So the topic I'm going to talk to you about is, well, I don't know. I don't know. How are you going to talk about something that you don't know? All right. So it's the possibility of saying I don't know is what I'm going to talk about. Right. So now let's just have a look at this, right? Mostly we just go around so sure about everything around us, right? Like we know answers for everything today. I mean, if you don't know, you just Google it, right? I mean, you find out, right? But okay, there are things that you can Google and find out, right? Okay, for example, um, let's say about uh, you know, your belief systems or what you don't really know about, and you must believe it in order to uh, well, to kind of console yourself, right? Because there's no proper way to know. Okay, let's just back up a bit. How do you know? Okay, you don't know anything that is outside of your experience. Does that make sense? Right. So, because if I know something, I know it because it has impacted me, it has touched me, or it has touched one of my senses in at least an experiential way. That's the only way that I will know, right? It has reached um, my brain through one of my senses, right? So that's the only way that I'll know. So when I say I do not know, it is beyond um, me. Basically, I don't know what it is, right? So what is this I do not know? All right, the term I don't know is a great possibility, because I'll tell you why. Because when you start saying I don't know to things that you actually do not know, right? Well, you're being truthful. Yeah, I mean, all right. So what's wrong? What's wrong with saying I don't know? Many people just fail to admit that they do not know. Why? Why do they do that? One, see, people live out there for an agenda. I used to be like this too. Like, I don't like to say I don't know. I just want to show that I know it all. I'm not, right? I mean, who knows everything? No one does, right? I mean, the all knowing person is virtually non existent, right? So, when I come out and say that I don't know, some people think, okay, so he doesn't know, right? Let's move on to somebody who does, right? Okay, that's fine. Because when the moment you say that you do not know something, you leave yourself open to knowing, right? The possibility of knowing. If you destroy that possibility by trying to guess at something, or answering while you really do not know about one, well, honestly, you could be lying. Because why would you say something that you do not know, which is beyond your experience? You try and make it up. For example, like, okay, somebody asks you about okay, I'll give you a simpler example, right? um, so for example, you've heard something that your father would have said, and a story. Now, your father would have heard it. When you ask him, he said his father told him, or his father told him. You know, you could just go on and on, right? How would you know? Well, these are just stories that come from generation to generation, right? All right. So now, if you start with a story, just today, you tell somebody, right? Okay, you saw something out on the street on your way to work, and you tell somebody, and what happens? That person goes and tells somebody else. You know, there's like, okay, after 8 hours, you hear from somebody else. Do you hear the same story? No. I mean, that's in a span of 8 hours. If you don't hear that that story, it's changed, right? I mean, you know it as well as I do. In such a case, right? How good is a story coming to you from generations? You really don't know. And to be really honest, sometimes we just fail to admit that, look, I don't know, but it's a nice story. Leave it at that. You know, leave a story as it is, and you be open to knowing, right? Be open when you don't really know something and it's beyond your experience, it has not experientially touched you. Leave it open and say, I do not know, right? When you do that, you're being honest, and actually you're being truthful, because many people just claim to know God and the geography of the heavens, where it exactly is, the soul, the spirit. To me, I really don't know, right? Well, there are people who claim they know. That's good, really. I respect those people who do, but I don't know, because if I know, right, I will be able to tell exactly somebody else where it exactly is, who he is. How can a person know the creator without knowing about themselves? They know everything around, but they don't know anything about this, right? We must know something about ourselves in order to know who manufactured this, right? So we must learn to seek that which is inside first. Because if we don't, how good is that? We just call ourselves what? Bogus liars? Would that be a good term? Yeah, it's weird, because some people are so sure about everything around them. It just sometimes scares me to see, to even think about, when you just are so sure about everything around. Sometimes if you just even pay attention to a leaf, or let's say a flower, that itself is so engrossing sometimes. But hey, you can, the other part about it is, you can learn. Okay, if you look at a flower, you can learn everything about it, right? About it. For example, okay, these are the petals, this is what color it is, this is the pistil, this is the stem. But how do you know the flower? How do you know the flower? You can't. You can disassemble the flower to find out what a flower is, right? You have to experientially connect with it, right? So that's the thing. You cannot know everything logically. There are different dimensions, right, other than logic, to know this life. And those, my friends, are levels which are really deep. Some of us know them experientially, but some of us don't. We just know, we've heard of it. Sometimes we're so laid back as it do not touch me, but we must be open by saying, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. Not experientially, but at least trying to see what's possible. All right, thank you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in one of my videos. Do subscribe to my channel, and this is Jay signing off. Take care.